Hello everyone, and welcome back to the VTU Lab C programming series. We have been covering the VTU prescribed lab term mode in this video series. We will continue with the next term mode. The next term mode is going to be write functions to implement string operations such as compare, concatenate, string length, and we need to use the parameter passing technique. So, what are strings? Strings are nothing but sequence of characters, such as you can see a word can be stored in a string. Uh, it is very much similar to array, but in array there can be any data type like integer, double, float. But in specific to the strings, talking about strings, there will be only characters. So a array of characters is called as a string, and strings are accessed as a index. Index based accessing is there, very similar to arrays, and strings are terminated by null character. The null character is placed at the end of the every string to to tell that whenever we are iterating, we have reached the end of the string. So how to concatenate two string, or what is the concatenation exactly means? Concatenation means joining the two strings together. If you take a look over here, first string is hello and the second string is world. So whenever we combine them, we will get hello world. And you can observe that there is no space between two words or two strings. They will be joined as they are, means there will not be any special character, or there will not be any kind of space whenever we join two strings. So joining of two strings and getting the result is called as string concatenation. uh, Finding length of the string. Length of the string is nothing but finding how many characters are there in a given string. Consider this string example.com. If we consider this as a string to be which we need to find out the length, then the number of characters present in this string are giving us the length of the string. You can see the index begins with 0 as we have seen in the array. So E X A M P L E, the special character dot has to be considered as a one of the character, and it will also take 1 byte to store, and COM. So all these 11 characters together constitute the example.com string, and therefore we say there are 11 characters. So we can see that the last character at the 10th index, so number of the last index plus 1 will give us the length of the string. And there are some predefined functions in the C to find out the length of the string, such as strlen. And one more thing is the null character placed at the end of the string will not be considered for evaluating the length of the string. How to compare two strings? Comparison of strings in the C language is done by comparing them character wise. Like if the say we have taken here one real time use case, that is a user wants to user enters a password and the system wants to check the saved password in the database whether it is matching with the entered password by the user. If it is matching, then the user will get access to the system, otherwise not. So the let us say the user entered password in the form of string 1, and the stored password in the database is string 2. How to compare them? We need to compare them by character wise, means we need to compare respective characters. Say string 1 is pass keys and string 2 is passwords. First we need to check they are of the same length. If they are same length, then only we can proceed further. Once they are same length, compare the first character of both string, then second character, then third character. If we found any mismatch, you can see over here, whenever we found a first mismatch, then only we terminate the program or process and say that the two strings or two passwords are not matching. They are not equal. So this is how the comparison is done, and this is the required sample input output for our program. That is, user enters a string, and user enters two strings. We need to tell that whether first string is greater, smaller, or equal. Greater means if the first string has more characters than the second string, we say that the first string is greater. If they are equal, then we say yes, the string, both the strings are equal in terms of characters, and we need to print the concatenated string. You can see program and lab. Program lab, we are getting the concatenated string, and the length of the first string and length of the second string we also need to print. So let us uh, try to code this in VS Code. Start by including the header file. So I have added three header files over here. uh, stdio, which is necessary for standard input output operation, and stdlib, needed for memory allocations, and string function to like perform string operation over the string object. Sorry, over the string. String is not object in the C language, but in other programming languages, in some of the other programming languages, string will be considered as an object. So let us start by writing main function, then we can implement the necessary function as we go through the program. Char str1, I will take two strings of size say 100. Then take like because you will not be knowing the size of the concatenated string. So let us take it as a yeah, dynamic array. Sorry, dynamic string. I will say concatenated string. You can give any name as per your choice. I will say enter the first string and read the first string. How we read the string in C? In the C programming language, we use the format specifier %es to read the string. And whenever we read the string, we will not be using the ampersand character. Then we enter second string. Once we read both these strings, our next job is to first is to compare them. We will first compare them. Later we will perform the concatenation and finding length. Int comparison result compare string. This compare strings is actually there are some predefined functions in the C to do all this operation, that is concatenation, finding length. But our problem statement explicitly needs us to write this program, so we are writing our own functions. str1, str2. We are passing two functions to this compare strings function. Let us write this function first so we can analyze how to return the result and all. Uh, there should be return type. I will say int compare string. Uh, take two strings. Here I am passing the strings by their by as a pointer, character array pointer, so that there will not be any issue with respect to the sizes. Otherwise, you need to look for the specified sizes and all. Once we have two strings uh, passed as a parameter, we need to set up a while loop. Before that, let's take one uh, yeah, counter variable. What is this for loop that I'm going to write is for? We need to iterate over both the strings, like string one and string two, until we reach the null character. Means until we reach the end of the character, and we need to check whether string one of first character is equal to string two of first character, string one of second character is equal to string two of second character, so on. Whatever we have just seen over here. This one. We have to check character wise whether P is equal to P, A is equal to A, S is equal to S, until we have to do it until we reach the end of the character. This is the required thing that we should be doing now using while loop. I will say while string one of I is not equal to this null character. Null character is back, not forward slash, it is backslash zero. Uh, and means we should satisfy two conditions. First one is uh, until we reach the end of the string one, also until we reach the end of the string two. If any of the string reaches the end of the character before other string reaches, then the loop should get terminated. Because if we have reached the smaller string end, we should not be comparing with the we should not be continuing the process of comparing. As soon as we end with one string, we should end the process. Here, we need to check for the uh, like how to um, mm, compare two characters. So I will say if string one of I is not equal to null character, no, not null. String 2 of I until the two characters are whenever the matched character compared character string 1 of I is not equal to string 2 of I, in that case we will be returning string 1 of I minus string 2 of I. Say we have compared two characters, string 1 of I and string 2 of I. If they are not equal, in that case, I will be returning the difference of those characters. I will be returning the difference of those characters. If this condition is not satisfied, that is, if the characters are equal, in that case, I will be just moving forward. Once I come out of this while loop, means as soon as I reach the um, as soon as I reach the end, once I come come out of this while loop, I will be comparing whether I have reached the end of the string one. That is, string one of I is not equal to null. Means have I reached the end of the string one? If I have reached the end of the string one, I will say return one. I will say what is the meaning of this one. Um, one means that like the string first string is greater string. If I say I have two string and first string is reached the end soon, then I will be saying that first string is greater than second string. Else, in that other case, I will be saying second string is greater. Here I need to write the case for else. Else if string 2 of I, so, string 2 of I is not equal to null character. In that case, I can return negative number, let us say -1. I will be comparing this 1 and -1 in the main function. Here I will be just return. Else, this else means that uh, return 0. Uh, Means that the strings are equal. Means both of the uh, strings have returned at perfect time. That means the strings are equal. Both of the strings have reached exactly at the end, means they are equal. So here I will be comparing the result obtained from these. So what I have done in this function, I have iterated until we reach the end of the first string until we reach the end of the second string. If they are at any point, if they are not equal, I am just returning their difference so that I can compare the result. If at any point string one means if at any point this while loop gets ended without this execution of this return statement, then I will be checking whether I have reached the end of the string one or string two or not. If I have reached the end of the string one, I will say return one. I Otherwise I will say return -1, stating that string two is smaller, and return 0 is to indicate that the both strings are equal. Let us compare. If comparison result is equal to 0, I will say printf the strings are equal. Else, if comparison result is greater than 0, then I will say if it is greater than 0 means the first string is greater. Because anyways, whenever I return the difference, in that case also I will be getting the uh, if the first character is greater, then only I will be getting the positive value. So I will be saying the first string is greater. If this is also not the case, then I will say printf second string is greater. So this will do the job. Yes, this is for comparison. Compare. Yes. Once we have that, our next job is to concatenation. Concatenation is very simple. Concat. I am just writing a function name concatenate strings. I will say str1, str2. These are the two strings. We will pass them as a parameter. We need to find their concatenation. Let's write a function for that also. Uh, Concatenation doesn't return anything. Uh, it doesn't return. No. We have to have a return string. Concatenate result. Result. Yes, we will store the result in not this one. I think we have declared one. Yes, the concatenated str. we have declared this string for this purpose only, that it can return the uh, string. So char star, you know that string can also be represented as character pointer. Char star, I will say this name, concatenate string, takes two parameters, char star str1, char star str2. Then the first is we need to find the length before we can combine. Here for this function only, I will be using the predefined str1. So int len1 equal to str length. Strlen is a predefined function used for finding the length of a string. Just you need to pass a string, it will return the length in the form of integer. Int len2 equal to strlen of str2. That's it. Once we get the length, we need to first allocate the memory for this one so that we can um, get the um, desired result. Char star result equal to malloc. Dynamic memory allocation in the C is done using malloc, calloc, and realloc. Malloc is used for allocating for the first time, and realloc is to expand the size, and calloc for other purposes. So we will be using malloc here for uh, allocate the space of len1, the length of the first string, len2 plus 1. So this is because len1 is the length of the first string, len2 is the length of the second string, and 1 we are keeping because we can store the space for the putting that null character at the end of the string, a space for that. So we are allocating memory like this. Later you can use the str copy, string copy. String copy, what it does is it copies this uh, string 1 into this result string. It copies the string 1 which we need to concatenate with string 2 it into result string. Now the string 1 will be copied into result. Once we copy string 1, we need to copy the uh, string 2 also. For that, don't use directly result comma string 2. Use result plus len1 because we already have allocated some space for the string 1. So it should be result plus length 1 of whichever we have allocated for string 2. To that string, copy the string 2. So this is how concatenation is done using manual method. Actually, there is a method called strcat, string cat. That is predefined function which is directly used to concatenate two strings. But here I'm just discussing how we can concatenate manually, and that is the objective of the program. This will perform the concatenation. Later here we just need to print the result. Printf the concatenated string is percentages backslash n. Backslash n. Here I need to say concatenated yes, this will do the concatenation. That's it. Now finding length. How to find length? First, we will just set up the function, then we can go ahead with finding the length. I will say str1 underscore length. Function, I will say string length and str1. The similar way, int str2 underscore length string length str2. I have called here string length function, but I have not defined that function. Let us define how the string length function. It should return the integer. Easy to implement this function because string length will be in the form of integer. So integer return type. It takes a parameter, a string one for which we need to find the sorry, a string for which we need to find the length. I have said it as a string one. You can give any name. For initially the length will be 0. Uh, we need to iterate over the string until we reach the null character, and we need to count how many characters are there. That is the simple approach. Let us say while string1 of length is not equal to null character, until that len plus plus, it should be len plus plus. Yes, it should be len plus. Just we are calculating the length. String one of length. Yes, it should be length. Instead of using here any index like string one of I and incrementing that I and both the length, what I have done here, I have taken only one variable, that is length, and I am using that length variable as the index only. So both the things are doing here, and that is the counting of the length and iteration of the string. Return length. Yes. Mm, mm, yes, it will return. We need to just now print the result. Printf the string, sorry, the length of a string is percentage d backslash n. Why percentage d? Because it will be in the form of integer, and that would be str1 length. Length of the second string is str2 length. Yes. Yes, we have done the comparison, concatenation, and string length. Let us save and run it. Scanf, okay, some error. Scanf 51, line number 15, spelling mistake. 54, okay. Enter the first string. I will take that example only. Program lab. We can see the concatenated string. The first string is greater. Here it is printed. And the concatenated string is program lab. Length of the first string is 7. Yes, there are 7 characters in the first uh, string and 3 characters in the second string. The program is giving expected output. I hope you got the concept of finding length of the string, concatenation, and comparison of string. Thank you.